You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 5. Chill! Yes, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, we got a special guest. She is a comedian. She got a show called Kyndra Crump. The Kyndra Crump show. We got Kyndra Crump in the building. Kyndra, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, I am pretty good. I'm pretty good. How you feeling today?
Oh, I'm doing good. Welcome to my show.
Yes, thank you for having me. We finally made it happen.
Yes. Hey, I see you doing a lot out here. You're killing it out here. We're gonna talk all about that, and yeah, let's get into it. But first, we gotta ask you, where are you from?
Atlanta, born and raised. It look like you out somewhere in a nicer part of town than I am because it's all bright where you at. I love that.
Oh no, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Now that's my light. That's my light.
Okay, good. Shout out to the lighting in the building. Shout out to the lighting.
Nice. So, if you could describe yourself with one word, what would that word be and why?
God fearing, because I always say I start my day off with God in the morning and I listen to Trick Daddy right afterwards. So it's a healthy balance.
Nice. So what do you like to do at your own time?
So as far as besides running my drug cartel, don't tell nobody. I like to read. I like knowledge is everything. Knowledge is power. I'm a YouTube head. I learned how to roll a blunt because Tupac taught me how to do it on YouTube. Go look it up if you don't believe me. I like watching movies. I like to read the word. I like to that's pretty much it. That's I'm part like a pretty much like a guy in a sense, like tomboy. So I'll shoot some hoops. I'll play video games, roll some dice, all that good stuff.
Nice. So let's talk about your beginning of life. Like, how was you growing up?
Basically, grew up in half a two-parent household. Because by the time I came around, my parents were pretty much done with each other, which is why I never got a chance to go to Disney World or nothing like that. My mom's like, find your own family to do that with. I'm like, oh, okay, got you. All right, mom. I mean, y'all could stay together to take us to Disney World, but anyway, back to the story. So it was pretty much, mom was a single parent. So we started off at riches because my father, he was the one who had, was the one who brought in the money. He actually was vice president of Sony and Warner Brother Records. Oh, wow. And so with that being said, he basically, was a moneymaker. Then after they got divorced, it was like riches and I'm at rags still, which is why I'm doing all these podcasts. So I can get the hell out of the Section 8 neighborhood.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Just keep pushing and you get there. You definitely will get there.
That's right.
So how all that you've been through makes you the person you are today?
Well, I mean, you know what? I feel like I had a lot of people discourage me when it came to the fact of trying to be all that I can be. My mom always would tell me to think before I spoke, and I never listened to her, which is why I just spew out whatever comes to my mind with this whole comedy thing. Hopefully you laugh. If you don't, okay. Back to the story. So with that being said, I had a lot of people bully me, for asking a lot of questions, which is why I never did well in school, because I was too concerned on what a person had to say about me and everything else like that, and all that type of stuff. So I learned at some point you can't sit here and allow a person's ridicule, what they say about you to distract you from your possibilities of life, because people are always gonna have something to say no matter what.
That's definitely a fact. I could definitely relate to the bullying because I've been through the same things. I completely get it.
What they make fun of you about?
Speech. So okay. Yeah. So,
did they like compare you to Mike Tyson?
Nah, not Mike Tyson, but they just tried to they tried to turn me down, but I always tried to beat the odds and to continue to do what I do. Mm-hmm. That's why I started the show today, and just like you doing the comedy. So that keep doing your big things. Don't let nobody tell you different.
Of course, and the reason I asked about Mike Tyson is because I know he has a speech, impediment type thing. So I didn't know if they tried to make fun of you and call you something like that in a way.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it. Yeah, I get it. But what inspired you to be a comedian? Like, what inspired you, and who, and what made you want to go that route?
Well, basically, I have many people over a course of time tell me I was funny. You know, I've had kids tell me I was funny. And there's three things that don't lie: as children, a drunk man, and leggings. So, with all that being said, I started in 2016 after multiple people kept saying you're hilarious and you know can go somewhere with this, and so it was via Snapchat. And at the time it was like Lil Kim's hardcore album, which actually I wrote some of those lyrics, but you know we beefing, so that's why my name never made it on the credits 25 years ago. Back to the story. So with that being said, I pretty much had to pretty much learn, like, okay, this is what you can make people laugh, you know, talking about whatever. You don't have to sit here and do the birds and the bees conversation jokes. You ain't got to be vulgar. You don't have to use profanity, and you can still make people laugh. And that's the beauty of it, right? So I started, like I said, 2016 via Snapchat. Late 2017, early 2018, I posted like to IG, and I realized IG is where you can go viral. Now I started jumping on people's podcasts October 2020 because I realized podcasting is like, it's like the new radio. You can go viral with that as well. You got people listening to you in other countries, and with that being said, it's great marketing. So there it is. And you know what? Since October 2020, I've been on at least 700 podcasts since October 2020.
Geez Louise, you're grinding. Wow.
I'm not playing games.
Wow. Nah, I respect your hustle. You keep doing your thing. Wow, that's amazing. I gotta say, that is amazing. But speaking of podcast, you do have a show called the Kyndra Crump Show. Tell us about that.
Started that in July 2019 with my best guy friend Lance, who, you know, he's funny as well. And I basically was like, you know, hey Lance, we need to go ahead and get this thing, you know, started with each other when it comes to like podcasting, because I'm like, you good, I'm good. But you know, the thing about, like, I don't know if you ever like started like a business venture with anybody, but one thing I know is that people will start something together and one person's not going to be as dedicated as the next person, right? Yeah, and so that's what happened with Lance. He wasn't as dedicated. And not only, I mean, but then again, I wasn't paying him, so he didn't have to show up. But, you know, I used to sit here and get upset with him, you know, about him not showing up and everything else like that. So over time, it was a time where I literally did not have a co-host, or I had one and I wasn't really posting because I'm like, I don't have a co-host and this person ain't showing up. And I said, Kyndra, the show must go on. You can make people, you can do this by yourself without having to have a party with you. It's all good. It's all good. So that's pretty much how I got started with that.
And I checked out your show, and it's a cool show. I like it. But where can my audience listen to your show? Like, where can they listen to your show?
Y'all can find me on Apple, Google, Spotify, Breaker. Just type in the Kyndra Crump Show podcast on google.com, and whatever list comes up, that's where you can find it. Okay,
dope. So I know you're a comedian. So if you could work with any comedian, any three comedians you always want to work with, who would those three be?
Well, let me say this, right? I don't try to look up or try to like aspire to work with people. The reason being is because people are still human, and I don't want to ever get let down by my favorites. But I can give you top 5 favorite comedians of all time, and I'm going to exclude Bernie, Pryor, Chappelle, and Kevin. Even though Kevin Hart's not funny to me, my thing is this: once you wear a dress, you're already sold out. So my top 5 is Arnez J, Carlos Miller, Chris Rock, Cedric, and Steve Harvey.
Yo. Yeah, like three of them is one of my favorites as well. You know, Steve Harvey, Chris Rock. Yeah, they dope. So as you know, we are in the pandemic. We are through in a pandemic. So what have you learned from the pandemic, and what have it affect you?
No, I learned I don't like people as much as I thought. Okay. I got back to work like, Kyndra, we done save it. I heard you talk about me. I don't like you. You know, so no, that's one of the things I learned when it came with regarding the pandemic. You know, I learned that you got to go after your dreams. I started this entire movement of me going after my dreams, jumping on people's podcasts once the pandemic had come. What a better way? I ain't doing nothing. Let me go ahead and grow my following. So that's one thing I learned, man. Whatever you, and then on top of that, like, save your money. A lot of people went broke. That's why they started OnlyFans. There it is.
You're right. You are definitely right. That you're not even lying about that. You're not lying about that at all. So speaking of dream venture, what is your dream venture? Something that you always want to do that you haven't done yet.
Well, my top, I'm gonna give you like different, because I don't try to put my eggs all in one basket. If the radio and television thing does not work, I want to be an author. I've been writing since elementary school. If author does not work, I want to be a minister. I mean, come as you are. It'll be fun. If that don't work, I can go and be a child psychologist, which I'm going back to school in January for.
Nice.
And if that does not work, I can go ahead and just be on the corner.
Oh man. So what other project you got going on?
Nothing else. This is really just it. I am honestly just going just like I said, trying to hit as many podcasts as I can. I do a little stand up once a week on Wednesday nights. I just try to find people. This is my issue with the stand up comedy club, right? They want air. They say it's free parking. And first 20 people within the first hour, you get a free drink, and you get free entry, but you still got to pay $5. What are we paying $5 for? I'm the act. I'm the opening act.
Yeah. That
okay. What the hell am I paying $5 for? But no, that's all. I be going. Anytime I go is when I actually got somebody that I know for a fact is gonna pay for me. Okay, you gonna pay for me? Thank you. You still ain't getting no cooter cats.
I feel you. And that don't make no sense. Comedians should not pay for the show that they're appearing on. That makes no sense to me at all.
Honey, it's janky promoters. That's all what it is.
Sadly. So verses, right? So
if
you had to pick a comedy versus of two comedians, who would that two comedians be?
I would pick Eddie Griffin. And I would do Corey Holcomb. No. Eddie Griffin and Patrice O'Neal.
That'd be interesting.
Right there.
Dope. And what we have to say for anybody that's going the same route as you, say something inspiration that we know, like how you want to be a comedian. Like, oh, you are a comedian. Tell them say something inspirational. Well,
this advice is to anybody out there who is just trying to go after their dreams, period. And I'm going to do a 5 for 5. 5 Bible verses and 5 pieces of advice that have helped me along the way. Let's start with the Bible verses. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? That's one. Okay. Number two is whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you receive and you shall have it. Okay. Number 3 is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. Number 4 is be not conformed to this world, but be transformed and renewed in the mind. And number 5 is don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. 5 pieces of advice. Expect the best, but prepare for the worst. That's number 1. Number 2 is never make a decision when you're desperate. All right. Number 3 is life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. Number 4 is when you first meet somebody, start them off with an F and have them work their way to an A. And I'm going to explain what that means, because a lot of people don't know what that means. Basically, if you start a person off with an A when you first meet someone, you're too trusting, you care too much about what they have to say, their word is bond, they can use what you're saying against you, and you don't want that. You want to be able to have some type of knowledge beforehand before telling this person all this information. You want to feel this person out, see what type of person they are, and that's why I say it's very important to have that. Number 5 is behind every no there is a yes.
Dope. That's amazing. All right, so before you go, we got 2 segment games. So
Okay.
one game we're gonna have play 5 random topics. Well, actually 5 topics, and you told me how you feel about them, whether it's short or it's long.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So what is your favorite go-to movie?
My favorite go-to movie. It used to be He Got Game until I realized that movie's not as good as I thought it was. Let me ask, since are you from New York? Where are you originally from?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in New York. Yeah.
So did you actually, when that movie came out in the late 90s, did you try to become an extra in that film?
Nah.
Okay, good. You probably would have. Yeah, that movie was not good. My go-to movie now is, you know what? So let me say something real quick. That I used to be obsessed with that movie, right? I finally got a chance to watch it a few years, like 5 to 7 years ago. I'm like, oh, I love this movie. Then I got older. I'm like, bro, Spike Lee could have kept this in the archives. This was terrible. But my number one, the go-to is Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Because I am the grandma from Don't Be a Menace. I will, curse you out, smoke a blunt with you, and then I'm going to pray for you all over again. That's what I do.
Dope. So what talent you wish you did have?
A talent,
you wish you had, yeah.
A talent I wish I had. I wish I could rap, so I don't have to have a ghostwriter when I actually do start rapping.
I'm not gonna front. I wish I would have rapped too. I wish I could rap too.
I'm gonna just get a ghostwriter and pay somebody, and then I'm gonna go from there.
All right. Which one place you want to go for vacation?
I'm trying to go vacation at Rapper the Game and Nelly's house so we can live in our bridge home because we're in a poly relationship. But on the real note, I guess I will choose Aruba.
Oh, nice. Wow, that's nice. That's dope. Where do you see yourself next year?
Next year, I see myself with a real verified check mark. And not only that, I see myself with just randomly $100,000 in my bank account. Legally.
You know, anything is possible. And last one, what's your favorite era of music and why?
You say that one more time. What's my favorite what?
Era of music.
Oh, the 90s and early 2000s, because that's when music was actually good. I'm like, this day and age, you try to have an actual favorite artist. I'm like, bro, y'all doing feathers and whatnot. What is this? This is crap. Who are you? Like, who did you throw to get on the record? You suck. Literally.
Yeah, I prefer the old school as well. All right, so the next segment game is how funny is a comedian? So I'm gonna name 5 comedians, and you rate me 1 to 10 whether they're funny or not. Like okay. 1 to 10. All right. So we're gonna start with Kevin Hart.
4.
All right. Martin Lawrence.
7.
Chris Rock.
9.
Monique.
5.
Cat Williams.
7.
And Dave Chappelle.
8.
Alright. Speaking of Dave Chappelle, have you seen his Netflix series?
I've seen the clip that has gone very viral, and to answer your question, they proved him right. He didn't say nothing bad. He was telling the truth. That's it. He was telling the truth, man.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to hear the truth.
That's true. You're right. Exactly. I agree with you. He definitely was telling the truth. I saw the specials, but he definitely was telling the truth. Nothing was wrong with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but Kyndra, thank you for coming to the show. You're doing an amazing thing. You're killing it. I look forward to see what else you're about to do. I'm out here for the support. And let everybody know where they can find you, where they can listen to your show and everything.
Well, guys, you guys can find me on the corner, like I said, if all things don't work out. But while I'm not on the corner preaching the good word, y'all can find me on Instagram, which is the Kyndra Crump Show. So the as in the, KYN as in Nancy, DRA, CRU, M as in Mary, P's and Paul Show. Not with no money sign, not no fake ass ASAP Rocky, okay? SHOW. All right. And my YouTube is Kyndra Crump, KYNDRA, space CRUMP. Please remember to put the space between Kyndra and Crump, because a lot of y'all's wheels on y'all's bus don't go round and round. Okay, that's it.
Yes, thank you, and support her, y'all, and we'll be right back. You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman
Lifestyle Podcast Season 5. Chill!